Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 steps to start a freedom-based lifestyle and become a digital nomad. Before I get started with the 7 steps, I want to share a bit about my story and my journey, which is that in 2015, that's when I quit my last ever full-time job and I became a full-time entrepreneur. So would I recommend doing that? Not necessarily. That was just my journey. That's the path that I took, but that is definitely not the path for everyone. I tried a lot of different things until I ultimately came to where I'm at now, which is actually that I run 2 businesses. So I did share a video with you guys several months ago about what I was doing for work then, so I'll include that video in the video description. And in that video, I did explain that I was working with a company called Famous Birthdays, and I was an independent contractor for them. So I still do that today, and that is what I do for my primary and first business. But my role with them has changed. So if you watch that video, you'll see the work that I was doing then, which I talk about extensively in that video, but my role is different now. So as an independent contractor, I'm constantly working on different projects, basically whatever tasks they need help with. So right now what I'm doing is there's over 200,000 profiles that are on the Famous Birthdays website or platform. And so that's like over 200,000 celebrities with their bios there. And so I am updating those profiles. So when couples break up, when couples get together, when people pass away, when people have children, like I'm doing tons and tons of these types of updates. So that's my primary business. That's my primary source of income. So my second business is Story of Lori, which is my raw vegan health and wellness and lifestyle brand. And so with Story of Lori, that's where I have my coaching, that's where I have my ebooks, I have affiliate links. So, and just to let you guys know, I did recently release an ebook, and that's my Passport to the World ebook. And it has 12 raw vegan, internationally inspired recipes, and it's only $7.77. So it's an amazing deal. All the recipes are raw, vegan, oil-free, easy to make, gluten-free, all the good stuff. And all of them only require just a few simple ingredients, and they don't require any special equipment. I'm just like very simple when it comes to recipes. I make them taste delicious and nutritious and just don't make it complicated at all. So you can always find the information for my ebooks. You can find all my ebooks at payhip.com/storyoflori, and the link is in the video description. And of course, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one and having me as your coach, you can contact me on Instagram at storyoflori. So that is where I'm at today. Those are the 2 businesses that I run, and like I said, my online business and entrepreneurial journey has gone through many different iterations over these 5 years. But today I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 steps that I recommend to get started with starting this type of freedom-based business where I'm able to work online, where I've been able to live in 5 different locations. So I've lived in Santa Monica, New Jersey, Hawaii, Colorado, and now Florida. And actually it's really crazy because it's just like in the past 24 hours I've been thinking, oh my God, is it time for me to move again? Because actually, so I'm in Miami right now, and I have it's technically a month-to-month, but it was a 3-month lease that I signed, and I'm actually coming up at the end of this 3-month lease. So it's like all right, like it's time to reevaluate and see where I want to be. But I am happy here right now. So anyway, just if you guys are interested in being able to have these types of options where you can pick up and leave at any time, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to these 7 steps to get started on your freedom-based lifestyle so that you can become a digital nomad as well. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so step number one, the most important step, do not overlook this step. Like, you're gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever, but like really pay attention and do this step and take it very seriously. The first step is decide that it's what you want. Decide that this is what you want. Decide. Not just like, okay, yeah, I want to start an online business, or yeah, I want to have a freedom-based lifestyle, or I want to be a digital nomad. Like, no. Like, I'm going to be a digital nomad. I'm going to be. Like, I am becoming a digital nomad. Like, whatever feels good for you in the statement and the affirmed way that it feels good for you, say it, decide it, feel it, start saying it out loud, start writing it, journaling it, like really decide that this is what you want and decide it's what you're going to be. Decide. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. Decide, okay? Number 1, most important step. Step number 2, write it down. Write down that this is what you want. And if you want to go a step further with this, journal it out. Like, just write all of your thoughts and feelings about taking this step and this decision. Like, everything that comes to you that you're feeling, whether it's like fears or it's feeling good about it or what you want it to look like, just write it down, because writing it down is taking it like a ginormous step further. It's like, it really just allows you to affirm it in a stronger way. So I find that when I write down my goals, and this has like been proven through different, scientific things like studies and stuff, but for me, like, I always do things based on my own experience, and when I write something down, it just makes it true. It's like, it makes it so that I know for sure that it's a decision. I can like see it with my eyes. I've made it real. Okay, so step number 2 is write it down. Write down that that's what you want or what you're getting. Step number 3 is brainstorm what you want to do. There are an infinite number of ways to have a freedom-based lifestyle and to become a digital nomad. Like, what that looks like for everyone who does it is completely different. There's like no 2 ways that are exactly alike. So I have 2 ways that you can, like, versions that you can go with this. So this is gonna make more sense when I explain it. Okay, so for some people, so version number 1, for some people, they know what they want. Okay, so like, for example, they know they wanna be a graphic designer, and they are just like so clear on that vision of what type of work they wanna be doing while they're, moving around or living in different places, okay? So if that's something that you're like really clear, like you know exactly what you want it to be, like, I just really wish I could make a full-time income doing this one thing or several things. Just, if you're really clear on it, just write down and brainstorm all the ways that you can be doing that, okay? So like, if you're a graphic designer, for example, like, okay, you want to be a graphic designer for who? What types of companies? Like, what types of brands? What types of projects? What types of clients, right? So like, just do all the brainstorming for that really specific thing that you have in mind, okay? If you're kind of like me, like, I've never had a specific idea in mind, for me, it's version 2, which is brainstorm the parameters of what you want it to look like. So for me, like, I don't really care what type of work I'm doing. I just care that it like has certain parameters. So I'm gonna give examples for this. So like that I can work any time of day. Like that's one of the reasons that I have just really appreciated my work with Famous Birthdays, because I work hourly and I work up to a certain number of hours, and I can do those hours however I want. So I have worked at 2 in the morning, I've worked at midnight, I've worked at 5 in the morning, I've worked in the middle of the day, like I've worked weekends, I've worked weekdays, like however I want to do it, that's when I do my work. And so that was like a parameter for me. When I got really clear on what I wanted my online work to be, and this was a couple years ago actually, because like I went through a phase where I was doing a lot of coaching, and then I took a step back from coaching and I just got really clear again. I just like went back to the drawing board and was like, okay, this is the type of work I want to be doing, like this is what I want it to look like. And that's when I started working with Famous Birthdays. So I just got really clear on like, I want to be able to work anytime. I wanted to earn consistent income. So when I was doing my coaching work, like primarily, I just found that it was like my income was not like, yeah, there's coaches that can make consistent income. But for me, I wanted it to be like really consistent. I wanted to like not have to wonder where my next like money or paycheck or like the money that was coming to me, I didn't want to wonder where it was coming from. I didn't want to have to do the inner work to like make that money come in. I just wanted it to like easily come in based on the work that I was doing. So these were the parameters that I set up, and that's how I decided to start working with Famous Birthdays, because it fit within those parameters. So, and then when I started doing my story of Lori and like growing that business, then that was more of like a freedom based thing that because I already had the primary income, I was able to like play around with how that business has been unfolding. So I haven't had to like go back to the drawing board for that one yet, because I'm still like playing around with that one a lot. But I will, and I think it's gonna be time soon for me to like really take that step back again and go, okay, what do I want this business like? What are the parameters I want for this business? So those are the two options that you have for the brainstorm. Like either you know what type of work you want to do and you just start doing all the brainstorming for what that looks like, or you have no idea what type of work you want to do and you just start playing around with what you want your days to look like, how you want your work to feel, like things like that. Just get into what the parameters are, okay? Step number 4, oh yeah, and also I just wanted to say like for even like if you also want to have, because one of the questions that someone asked me that inspired this video, they had asked like how to earn consistent income, and you can do that like no matter what type of work you do. So like even as a coach, you could have consistent income. There's ways to structure your business so that you have that consistent income. So that's more of like a mindset thing, and also how like your business structure. So that's just something like you learn, whether you work with a coach or you take a course or you learn from your own experiences. That's something I just wanted to address there, because that could be one of your parameters, and you just have to take the action steps to ensure that you have that consistent income. Okay, so step number 4 is what did I write here? Oh yeah, okay, contact the people who can help you. Okay, so once you have these parameters, now you take it one step further, and now you know who you need based on these parameters. You start being able to, or based on the brainstorm, you're able to know who to contact, who can help you to make your dreams a reality. So let's say you got really clear on your graphic design, so we're just gonna go deeper with that one. So let's say you got really clear on your graphic design work. Okay, so now you wanna start contacting all the graphic designers you know, or contacting your friends to see if they know of graphic designers. Or if you got really clear on certain clients that you wanna have, start contacting people who would be ideal clients for you. And don't make that assumption, don't make an assumption that the people you're contacting are going to help you directly. So for example, like if you're contacting people who are ideal clients, don't expect that they're gonna like hire you to like work with them, but instead just go to them for an information-based attitude. So like, okay, like you're someone who would be an ideal client, like what does it take for you to decide, you know, who you hire as a graphic designer? So you want to ask them information-based questions. Of course, it's a bonus if they go, oh, actually, I am looking for a graphic designer, or oh, I know of someone who's actually looking for a graphic designer. That's a bonus, but don't go into these contacts expecting that. Just start with an open mind and an open ear to learning from these people, so that you're gonna just acquire information from them so that you can take your next steps from there. Okay, so that's like the graphic design example. Now if we go to like the parameter example where you're like, I don't really know what type of work. So based on your parameters, that's where you're gonna start brainstorming what is that, you wanna go that step further, like what is that gonna look like? Like who would be ideal clients and why would they be ideal clients? And then again, going to your contacts, contacting those people who would look like ideal clients, who run online businesses, who would be able to answer your questions based on the things that you brainstormed. Okay, so make sure you're contacting as many people as you can who can give you insight into how you can get started with the specific work that you're looking to do. Okay, and this would also include coaches, like people who can really help you to get clear on getting started, who can help you to do the mindset work, who already have taken things many steps further than you and can help you to navigate those early steps. Okay, so that might be coaches, it might be courses, it might be people from your network, it might be contacting people, like contacts of contacts, okay, like people, friends of friends, friends of family. Like just be open to receiving a lot of insight. And when people give you information, you don't have to, or they give you insight, you don't have to take anyone and everyone's opinions or ideas. It's just, you're just gathering information and you can do the steps that resonate for you, okay? But just be aware that a lot of people are gonna know things that you probably don't know. So make sure that you're just being really open to the insight that they're sharing, and you're like, but also using discretion, okay? So people are gonna like recommend certain things that might not resonate for you, and that's okay too. This is all good stuff, okay? Step number 5, okay, so now that's like all the work-based stuff, but now I wanna talk about more of like the freedom-based stuff. So step number 5 is minimize your belongings. So for me, being a minimalist has made this freedom-based lifestyle so easy because I'm able to just pick up and leave whenever I feel the calling to go to a new place. So because I don't have that many items, everything that I own fits into a single suitcase, and I do have a video about that, so I'll include that video link in the video description. So by minimizing your belongings, you make it a lot easier to be mobile, to be able to move, to be able to be nomadic. And by being a minimalist, I just find it allows me to be more free. I don't have attachments to things. I don't have attachments to anything that's holding me down, any physical items. I'm able to easily flow wherever the wind blows me next. So by minimizing your belongings, it really gives you that freedom of mobility, okay? Step number 6 is choose your destination. So you probably are interested in a freedom-based lifestyle because you want to be somewhere physically different than where you are. So start getting really clear on where's your next destination. You cannot physically be in more than one place at a time. Okay, so decide where your next place will be. Like, you might have a whole list of places that you want to go during your lifetime or within the next year. But start with just, where do you want to go next? Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 5 years from now, whatever your goal or intention is irrelevant. Just get really clear on where is it. Like, really clear, like really specific. Not just like Sydney, Australia, but like, which neighborhood in Sydney, Australia? Why that neighborhood? What do you want, like, your physical house? Like, do you want to live in a house, in an apartment, in a shack? Do you want to live by the beach? Do you want to live in like a busy city? Like, really, really clear on your specific destination for where you want to be and what you want it to look like, what you want it to feel like. Really clear, like in your mind, or do your vision board. That's my vision board there. Like, just, and like, you can actually see, not so well here, but, and I'm not gonna pick it up right now, but I do have an image there that is in like a city. It's a Floridian city. It's very colorful. And for me, when I came to South Miami, I really felt like, wow, that image from my vision board is here in South Miami. Even though that image on my vision board was from Delray Beach, I felt like South Miami was like, it felt more aligned with my soul, and that image was just a representation of what I was seeking, what I wanted it to be like, which was, I wanted to be in a very colorful city that had like a health focus, that where I felt like myself, where I felt like I fit in. And when I came to South Miami, it was like, wow, like, I love it here. And I knew, because I was so clear on the type of destination that I wanted to be living in. And then step 7, the last and final step, is to take the leap. And this is the one that might be the hardest for you if you feel the most fear when it comes to starting this freedom-based lifestyle. So when you need to take that leap, when you feel it's time to take that leap, it's important to actually do it. And so working with a coach who can really help you, who can really push you, who can really be by your side so that you're able to take that leap with safety, with security, with comfort, or whether it's like a friend or a family member, or just doing that inner work for yourself so that you're able to actually take the leap, so that you take all of these steps and you take them one step further to actually putting them into action. So those are my 7 steps to get started with your freedom-based lifestyle so that you can become a digital nomad. I also wanted to say that you may have noticed that this isn't actually about starting your own business. So not every person who has a freedom-based lifestyle or is a digital nomad is actually a business owner. There's like tons of ways to have this lifestyle without actually starting a business. You can be an employee who works remotely, for example. So that's all part of like the parameters that you might have for yourself, that you may not want to have your own business, and that's okay too. Like, you can have this lifestyle structured in whatever way you want. You can be living in a van, you could be flying all around the world, you could have your own business, you could be working for someone else. There's a lot of ways to have this lifestyle, but I do recommend taking these 7 steps so that you're able to get started and you're able to have the lifestyle that you want. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'd love to know your comments and questions in the comments section down below. And don't forget to grab my Passport to the World ebook. You can find that at payhip.com/storyoflori or the link in the video description. And yeah, I'm excited for you guys to have those awesome 12 raw vegan recipes that are globally inspired so that you can travel the world without ever leaving your kitchen. And this is a great way for you guys to manifest this freedom-based lifestyle, to start eating in the way that really inspires you to take this leap. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. See you again soon.